y'all's Joe Master Lee.
And Lulu.
Right. I finally did it.
You did it.
My first official podcast episode.
Woo-woo.
It only took what feels like a lifetime to get here.
I'm happy to be here on your podcast.
You are my official co-host, so I hope you show up. Somebody's got to take the keys to drive us home afterwards.
That's right.
Once people get drunk on my commentary. Yeah, it definitely took a while for me to get this all set up. What I want to do is get into why that was the case. So this whole first episode was, why did it take so long for my ass to get in gear to get this podcast off the ground when it really is a key tenet of my world domination plans?
Wow. There's so many vocabularies there. That Lulu, clueless Lulu is so clueless.
Beauty of this is you can go back and replay it and Google it up afterwards. If you've been following our other channels here, and we have a lot, our main channel, React to the World, I guess it actually wasn't our main channel. It was technically my own channel at first, and then we went to do John X Lulu for a while, and then we shifted back to React to the World, which was my old channel rebranded, and then I launched a bunch of other stuff, and then Lulu launched OnlyFans, and now this is where we got to. It's a long, drawn-out story, but really what I wanted to get to the heart of was how life kind of gets in the way. And if you let life get in the way, and how easy it is to just make excuses for like, well, I got these things to do. And at some point you just have to say, you know what? This is my dream. I need to go for it. Ain't nobody else going to do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk a lot about this between you and I, mainly about your own dreams, how, you persistently just give up on it. But this is my dream. This is my channel. This is my dream. And I want to get into my struggles in this. Now, I want to set a tone here. I want to give people an idea of what to expect in this ongoing podcast series. All right. And the first thing I want to say is, even though this is commentary, I've decided to make it as over the top, fun, ridiculous, and raw as possible.
Nice. It is raw.
It is raw. It is going to be raw. This is not for kids. I don't want no kids on this channel. Not that there were a lot of kids to begin with, because I used to do a lot of reactions and commentary about video games. So who wants to see a 40-year-old dude, talk about video games? Definitely not a 12-year-old.
Yeah, it's not that we don't like children.
No, you know what? I'm not a big fan of kids. I am a big fan of the things that, honestly, kids love. I'm kind of like a big kid myself. But, as I gotten older, what I've really started to appreciate is kid-like wonder. And in fact, I think if anything, my whole adult life, at some point, there was an inflection point. All right? It went from, what can I do to grow up as much as I can? Right? Level up, become more intelligent, get a better job, get a better title, make more money. Get married, settle down, all the things that you want. And at some point, for me, it was like, you know what? I'm doing it wrong. What I crave more than anything, I think what every adult craves more than anything at some point when they wake up, whether it's a midlife crisis or whether it's a realization that life is short, is they just want to go back to being a kid again. How do you unadult as much as possible?
That's true. Because being a child, you're just not thinking of what other people would think about, or people would be judging. You just do what you love to do, like you enjoy doing it.
Exactly.
Right?
You're unabashed about what you enjoy, and you just like,
you don't care.
You don't care.
Yeah, you just don't care.
And that's really hard to let go of once you build up a fortress around yourself that props you up. And I think that's my problem. And this is honestly what's been holding me back. One of the main things is the fact that I built my whole life around, my whole career, everything around this persona that in many ways I think people see, right? They see my reaction channel and they see like how I like to do commentary, how I like to analyze things. But I always try to come across as someone being very informed. But the reality is like, it's hard for me to let loose and just kind of go crazy. It's hard for me to just say what I want to say. It's hard for me to address issues around the world. What I don't want to do is like unsettle the ship kind of thing. And it's me being very conscious about other people when the reality is I feel like there's a lot of things I have to say now. There are things on the top of my mind that I want to get out there. And it isn't just because I'm like, I pent up. You know, it's like I haven't masturbated for like 6 months and there's this pent up, you gotta let it out type of thing. you know. That's when I call you over. Lulu, I need some help. Help me release this pent up frustration.
Yes. And I'll be like, I would love to.
Of course. You just jump my bones. No, this pent up frustration has more to do with, I feel like the world is falling apart. It's freaking falling apart. And I'm not doing enough to address it.
Yes. You don't want to be, waking up one day and you regret because you didn't do anything that you think.
That's exactly it.
You have to do.
That's exactly
like it's your calling.
It's
right?
my calling.
Yeah.
It's everyone's calling. At some point in life,
yeah.
It is everyone's calling. You can't fight it.
Yeah.
So you spend your whole life building yourself up and like, this is me, this is what I am, this is my Gucci, this is my probably secondhand polo at a discount shop.
No, it's
CK. This is Calvin Klein. This is actually pretty swag right here. But you have to realize that it is better to jump in willingly into like, what can I do to help the world earlier, because it gives you time to nurture that. It just doesn't happen overnight. Right? It's sort of like building up a YouTube channel, building up a career. It takes a long time to build up any sort of power to affect the world. And now we have some power building up this following. It's time to do something about it. But I'll tell you, it took me a while still. And one of the big things I think that people don't realize about me is that, when you see me online, and we have over 1,000 videos, so it looks like John is highly talkative. But I'm actually very much an introvert.
Yes, he is an introvert.
Big time.
I'm the outgoing person.
Yeah.
But I am not very good at expressing.
Yes.
Through words.
It comes across in a very interesting way, right? Because people have actually even said, like, John, why don't you let Lulu have an opinion sometime? All you do is talk.
I know. A lot of people comment
that. You only know the truth.
Yes, people. Don't get mad at John because it helps a lot with my confidence that he is talking most of the time. And I've changed. I think I improved.
You improved a lot.
A lot, actually, because I am really, really scared of talking in front of people and just basically expressing myself. Especially that English is not my first language. So in the beginning...
Yeah, but you're Filipino, so it's your 1.5 language, right? Every Filipino can speak English.
No. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, in my generation, we're different because we do study and use textbooks in English, but we don't communicate in English. Nowadays, if you go to Philippines, children speak to you in English. That is insane and that's amazing. I guess my high school friends or college friends would say, when I get drunk, back then, when I get drunk, I speak a lot in English. And
well, your adult version of that is, get in front of the camera and do a reaction video. Right? The more you practice, ultimately, you get better. You get more comfortable.
Yes. The YouTube really helps me a lot.
Like, it took me about 1,000 videos to feel like I can speak in a way now that I'm not stumbling over my words. Like, the thing is, like, when you watch our videos, you don't realize how much editing goes into like cutting out the parts where we mess up. Like, our reactions are very genuine. Like, we never cut those. But when we are talking before and afterwards, even for me, I have to learn to do things that take out some of my, it's like mild stuttering is maybe one way to describe it, where I'll repeat words.
Right.
And there's a lot of ands and ums. And it's so obvious.
You guys should watch our video. You created a video of those.
Yeah, I did create a video of like how many times we say it. I think literally within a 30-second window, we're both saying like 15 times, right? Like half the video.
Stuff like that.
He's definitely, when he sings, he's in the moment of the song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like in all his performances, he just forgets the world is there. He's just kind of in his own head, which is actually really beautiful. But you're right. Like I think in this music video, he's supposed to be acting, and like half the time he forgets he's there.
Like so awkward because he's so cute to watch. Like when he's moving, you know, like this is music video. Of course, you gotta have to like act, right? But you can't. I can tell like how he's like doing this, like you know, like the note and forget about like acting and stuff like that.
It's that bad. And now I've reached the point where I realize, you know what? I'm actually speaking here in a way that is my thoughts, stream of thoughts, and I'm not doing that now. Like I'm finally comfortable be able to speak in a way where, you know, like podcasts, it's a lot of light touches. You don't really do a lot of editing. Mm-hmm. It's not meant to be like a YouTube video. The pace is slower. You get into a conversation. It's not just a highlight reel. So yeah, it's taken me that long because even though it looks like I speak well, and actually a lot of people at work say, John, you're one of the best speakers. Like when you go out and make a presentation, people are captivated.
You are. You're very, very good at it.
I'm a very evangelical speaker. But that comes with practice. What they don't see is I'm in my room practicing that speech over and over again.
Yes.
And then second, I'm very passionate about things. Like I can't give a speech about anything. It has to be something I love. Like video games or arguing with Lulu. Like two things I'm highly passionate about.
Oh, I'm sorry, babe. By the way, I have my period today. And so
that explains why we've been arguing for the last 2 days?
We've been arguing, yes.
Okay, what about the last 12 years? Has it been a 12-year period?
Every month. It just sucks. The hormones are just insane.
All right, well, don't hijack
yes.
I don't know how we got
Let's go back to the topic.
Let's get back to the topic. So my point is this. It's taken me that long to get over my own insecurities as an introvert, be able to just speak top of mind, without a lot of heavy-handed editing. And so I'm at that point. After a year and a half, after 1,000 videos, I finally feel proud of myself. And I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. On the flip side, it also taken about 1,000 some videos for me to finally feel comfortable saying, well, Lulu will be a good co-pilot. Because we fight all the time. You guys just don't realize. All the time I'm making these reaction videos about like, well, say something, give an opinion, give anything. And literally, you know, throughout a, 10-minute video shoot, just the words, that was cool. Like, is there another word besides cool? Very cool.
Babe, because, like I said, I'm not very good at expressing or...
That's why we went through the whole exercise of learning new vocabulary, review English. You had launched your own YouTube channel. These were not trivial efforts. And so these are all the things that took time to build up. And then when you get caught up in all these other things, like launching multiple channels, I got caught up in that. It was a lot of fun. Like we made a lot of mukbang videos.
Yeah.
We made a lot of travel videos. Mm-hmm. And then we made some OnlyFans content, your try-on videos. And the next thing I knew, it just hit me like, John, you've got off your path again, right? Like it's one of those things where life has gotten in the way. And considering like phase 1.0 of my adult life of trying to unadult myself, of like saying like living free, like doing what I want to do, I never got to phase 2.0, which is this podcast. And now we're finally here at phase 2.0.
All right. Good job.
Now I'm ready. My co-host is ready. I think the world is ready. The world is sufficiently fucked up enough for us to finally talk about what's going on. But you know what? This is still about entertainment. This is actually how I cope. For me to open up, like I'm not a person who, being an introvert, I don't really talk about my feelings all that much. It's very rare for it to come out. Typical Asian guy, like we
Asian
don't express.
Guy, yes.
Typical Chinese guy. Yes. I'll take it even that far.
In fact, that in our marriage, remember in the beginning, it was really, really hard for you to like show. It's Filipino are very, how would you say, expressive.
In your face.
In your face, literally in your face. So me together with John's culture is just so different. So John had to change a little bit on how to express and how to be passionate a little bit towards me. And also me, I had to as well not too clingy.
You had to learn to be so less a leech.
Yes.
The one thing though that I want to kind of point out, and I'm still developing this, I haven't quite figured this out yet, right? Which is actually two things. One is, what is the persona I want to develop here in front of the microphone in a podcast? So what's different about this than a typical video that we create?
That's right.
Because I want to go deeper. That's one thing that I feel like I'm not given a chance to do. But I think in order to go deeper, there has to be a level of vulnerability in terms of opening up of what I think and how I feel. But for me to do that, I still got to have, the jokey nature. It's like comedians. Comedians can talk about serious topics because it's fun and it's a way that's entertaining. Yeah. And that's a way for me to open up. So you want me to open up, Lulu? I got to find a way to joke about stuff. So yeah, this is not going to be that kind of podcast. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing to be too serious about. That's boring, right? Then better just watch a news then.
Oh no,
watch
people
a news.
Love drama. If they knew the truth about how we almost got divorced, if they knew the truth of why we don't have kids, if they knew the truth about how I lost $1 million, good drama there.
Yeah, good drama, but not too serious. I mean, you get to like serious and then you go.
I think the point is, let's talk about the serious topics, but let's do it in a way where we don't end up arguing about things with different beliefs and pissing off a bunch of people. The point is, people need to be able to come along for the ride with us here, because I think in this process, we can all level up. That's my goal. Ultimately, I want to level up, but I want to do it in a way that hasn't been done before. Now, the other thing I think is I'm trying to hone in on is ultimately what kind of topics do we want to talk about here? Because I want to find a way to talk more about, life issues. But I think just sitting here and bitching about like what we're dealing with and our own struggles, especially in the world of struggling, one is it feels like, it just feels like it's good for gossip, one. Right? Like, it's not me.
You don't like gossip.
Oh, I hate gossip. I don't want to add to gossip. Right? Even though I know this kind of drama, it gets views. People love it. They love like going through your underwear drawer and shit like that. It's crazy. But I'm okay with it. I just need to do it in a way where I feel like it's adding some value to the end. It can't just be some pointless endeavor. Right? I love talking about finances. I love talking about money, how to start a business. And I made about 30 to 40 videos around this topic, for one of my other channels. And I realized that I come across too much like someone who's preaching, lecturing. And who wants to hear that? I think I'm at my best when I can have fun with the topic. And in that process, you will learn too, right? It goes back to being when you're third grade in school. If the teacher didn't make it fun, you ain't gonna freaking learn.
Right. You're not gonna listen because it's
it's gotta be some fun way that stuff got to be conveyed across.
Right. Those are not bad videos though.
Oh, whoa. Did I say my videos were bad? What are you talking about, girl?
No, it sounded like you're not happy with the outcome.
Well, you know me. I'm never fully happy with what I've done. I'm always looking forward to how to level up. It's more of what kind of persona I want to embrace. And I think that persona is the kind of thing that, and I did think about this, right? That persona was me thinking about, I need to make sure my professional career is intact. As much as we love to have fun on YouTube, the reality is I make most of my money from my professional career. And I want to make sure that I can still have that protected. And this type of content
I
can still go back to a job with them, without people going like, oh, what the fuck did you do? But I don't think that works anymore. I think we have to embrace a side of you that is, that's made people like, H3H3, right? They're very honest about themselves, yet they're very raw. They're very controversial, but a lot of people tune in and they listen. And he sometimes has good points. Right. And there's another couple too. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but Bobby and his gal, It's actually, is he Chinese? No, he's Korean, I think. And he's like a comedian, so his stuff is like over the top crazy. But he gets into some really interesting topics that people can learn from. Usually not from him, because his stuff is literally out of left field. He's kind of like just, coked up in the head. But he has guests on who actually are very intellectual and very, they know their stuff in their field. And I think that's where we need to get to. I think we need to start talking with other people to add interesting things into our lives so that, we can level up and help other people level up. Because, I don't know. When I share stuff with you now, you don't even pay attention. You just ignore my advice.
No, I'm not.
You're like, I need your help, John. And then a couple of days later, you ignore all my advice. And then shite hits the fan and the house burns down.
It's Lulu's brain. It's just not absorbing. Something wrong with my brain.
Lulu loves to argue.
Something is wrong with my brain.
So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to finally unleash myself. You're unleashing yourself on OnlyFans?
Yes, through OnlyFans.
In a very different way that involves nipple. Mine is more like, I need to unleash this professionalism that I've built up that I think some people might think is completely crazy. That'd be stupid of me to do because of, like I said, like how many years of my life decades I spent building this up.
Yeah.
With a career that, a very high earning career. And, do you really want to throw it away just because you want to chase what can basically feel like your 15 minutes of fame as a YouTuber by doing something stupid and over the top, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the YouTubers are onto something.
Right.
Right. I think these young kids are onto something today, and we're just jealous. The rest of us are just jealous of the fact that they're doing crazy shit
right
that we never got to do in our lives. And as you get older, it gets harder to actually even just do it, to think about it. And you're just sitting there bitching about these kids on your lawn.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you got it right. Like being jealous because we can't do what we wanted to do. And so we just complain and complain.
That's what it is as you get older.
We get
Grumpy
older.
ass old people.
Oh my God. I'm probably starting to be like that.
Probably.
Right, John? Like I'm going to have, I'm serious. Like earlier I was thinking, because, John and I just had an argument. And so earlier I was just thinking, maybe I should start writing a letter for my future caretaker, that if I become so rude or mean, just know that I used to be a really cool, clueless Lulu.
Was this
like
before
a really
we married?
Nice. Babe, you fell in love with me because I'm so, yeah, so that's what it is now. I feel like, oh my God, I'm starting to become less patient and very grumpy.
All right, y'all. This will be in the first podcast episode. They're going to be about like 30 minutes long. I don't think I can be on a soapbox for 1 hour long. But my hope is that by going 30 minutes, I could do maybe like 2 uploads a week.
Are we already talking 30 minutes?
It's already been 30 minutes, babe.
Wow. No, I think if the topic is that interesting and something that you are so passionate about, and I can also...
Why would I have a podcast
then it's like
show
an hour
that sits around and talk about boring ass shit for an hour? Like, if you were going to go through the effort of doing something that you're like, I've always had a dream of having a podcast, but why don't we talk about potpourri?
What?
For an hour.
Yeah. No one's like to listen and watch your...
You want to subscribe to this. You want to listen to this because we're going to get into all the things that we talked about so far and a lot more.
And a lot more.
It's going to get raw. And I need a name for this podcast too. So if you guys got ideas, let us know. I'm still thinking about it.
But you're doing it on your John Master Lee?
It is. But maybe I won't keep it as John Master Lee. All right, y'all. Peace out.
Peace.